Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity Ezel by Card of Vanguard, Ezel and Vanity weekly video. So back at Georgia Play, comment, subscribe, and so shall we. This time we're covering more reveals from the Luard set. Actually, it's the final reveals of the Luard set, and presumably the final reveals of the Shiranui set as well. So let's go into start, shall we, see what we got. So for the Luard reveals, first up, thank you to all those that actually came to the first successful live stream on the channel. So I mean, there's that, but also during that live stream I actually went over these reveals. So if you want like full in-depth BS, go watch the live stream, go find where I was talking about each of those reveals, and you'll kind of get them as you go. But I will give the some version of these, but still go on my normal story mode. We have Abyssal Owl, Grid on Boost, 5k Shield, AK Base, Act Hand cards. If you have a drag card Luard Crest, discard to search your deck or drop zone for up to one grade 3 card drag with Luard in its card name. Reveal, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Okay, most people would see this and immediately think to the counter charge skills, but because you see counter charge in it. Except I will tell you this right now, and I said it in stream too. This deck, the Stride deck set itself, or at least the version of the Stride deck set I have, which is just all the Stride deck set cards and maybe only the triggers are different, literally does not need this counter charge skill. I have used it 0 times in my entire time of playing the Stride deck set, and the deck literally never ran into a CB problem. So just saying that clear. Anyways, being able to search a Luard is great, and then its other skills, auto drop zone ritual 3. If you have 3 or more grade 1s in your drop zone at the end of your turn, if you have Vanguard Luard in its card name by binding 2 cards from your drop zone with the same name as this unit, counter charge 1. So cool, it can bind itself, it gets you 1 counter charge. It's not loopable because, I mean, you know, you have to bind them in Luard to my knowledge, and Shadow Pod in general doesn't have a way to get stuff out of the bind zone, but if they did, then you would find a way to loop it back and then get more counter charge out of it. But all around is pretty solid, and the thing that makes this thing good, at least in my opinion, D, is definitely not the counter charge skill, because the older one would be better for that regard. But the fact that this searches the Luard for free, because not only does it allow you to pick Dragfall if you're running it in premium, but also it literally activates Dragstrider skill, which in my opinion is so good. So 4 of Owl, not because of the CC, because like I said, at least the way I play it, I don't need that at all, but because of what this skill does. So take that as you will. And then we have my favorite grade 1 of all time in Shadow Paladin in general, Drag Wizard Seismos. I did not think we were going to get her. Like, if you should have asked me, I would have given you, like, 10 to 1 odds we would have gotten any other grade 1 but Seismos, like maybe Bronak, well, maybe a grade 1 version of Bronak, you know, the G guard from Luard, the one that top 5, or maybe we get like her skill Hate Dragon, or like something different that wasn't going to be her, because I didn't think anyone ran her, and she is my favorite grade 1 of all time for Luards, and the fact that we got her, I literally paused and said yes, because I recognized her straight up from the art. Anyways, grade 1 boost, 5k Shield, AK Base, Drag Wizard Seismos, or Seismos, I just call her Seismos, continues rear guard, ritual 3. If you have 3 or more grade 1s in your drop zone during your turn, if you have a drag card Luard Crest, gets 2k power. Cool, it doesn't matter if it's your GB or not, as long as you have 3 or more grade 1s in drop zone, whether you're on grade 3 or not, it's a 10k booster or swinger, which is nice to have. And then auto GB1. When it's placed on rearguard circle other than during your battle phase, so slightly different than its OG variant. If you have Vanguard Luard in its card name, look at the top 2, choose up to 1 unit card from among them, call it to rearguard circle, and put the others to bottom in any order, and then if you called it at the end of the turn, were to card the called unit by this effect. So the old Seismos didn't have this skill, and instead it still had this skill. It was ritual restricted to ritual 3, and it was still GB1 restricted, and it cost a CB, but in exchange it can be played during at any point in the turn, and you call both units from the top 2, and at the end of the turn, all 3 units die. But the thing is that I loved about Seismos, I'd always use her with Distress Dragon if I had enough CB to basically make a board with Luard, immediately use Seismos to get more of a board, then Distress my board to hell, Distress my opponent's board to hell, because I was playing with budget, so I played with the cards I got, and it was really fun play. Or that one time that I played against the Blaster Exceed player, get into a corner, go into Dark Carnivore with Devourbow, kill Devourbow, called this in another grade 1, Devourbow skill, goes to Soul, calls me, I don't remember what, I think it called his trigger, I think probably a stand trigger, then use Seismos skill, Counterblast, I know I called 2 triggers off of Seismos, what they were, I don't remember, and then use Dark Dragon skill, kill one of my triggers, kill rearguard, call my last hand card, go in for swinging, swing with Van, pull triple crits. The thing that I love about that, and why I always bring that up with Seismos, is because if I didn't have the 1 copy of Seismos, I would not have been able to pull triple crits because Seismos took the top 2 cards off of my deck, which were both not crits. So Seismos all around is very helpful. I love her skill, especially here. It's free. You get to call stuff, and she is still very reliable like she was in my Luard build. And remember, she was a 1 of back then, and now she's at least a 3 of in my version of the deck. So yeah, at least a 3 of 4 of all the way. I love her so much, and I'm so glad that they brought her back for this set. Then we have Drag Wizard Moressa, aka my favorite variant of Moressa out of all of them. A, because of art, B, because of skill. Grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. Continues drop zone, it loses 1 grade, so cool. No GB restriction, no ritual restriction, it's just a grade 1 in drop zone. Perfect. And then auto rear guard, ritual 3, active if 3 or more grade 1s are in your drop zone. When this unit attacks into a vanguard, if you have a drag card Luard Crest, it gives 5,000 power until the battle. And if you have 2 or more faceable cards in the G zone, by counterblasting 1, you get to search back to 1 unit card ritual ability that isn't herself. Call it your rear guard circle and show off your deck. Okay, important things to note here. A, because she's a grade 1 in drop zone, you can just do what I do in some games. Call 2 of them to the front row, swing with them, and then intercept with them, and then you're immediately in ritual 2. And then her other ability, this does not require you to have any form of GB. Meaning, if you just get a bunch of grade 1s and drop early on, which this deck does very easily, she's a 15k swinger, and then if you have the 2 or more cards in G-Zone, she gets multi-attack on top of Drag Heart. Or not Drag Heart, what's it called? Drag Driver, and then Drag Driver can call another copy of Moressa, which is how you would run into a CB problem, but considering I never pulled that off consistently and I'm more focused on playing Seismos, yeah, I don't really need to worry about that. But either way, Morfessa's all around very solid, allows for multi-attack, allows for 15k just straight up for free, and is an easy access grade 1 early game rush card. 4 of Moressa, she's an amazing grade 2, and I cannot think of another reason why you shouldn't run her as a 4 of. And then we have, my boy, I am so proud to see Dragstrider, and he is the only reason, well, that and Seismos, now I have a reason to pick up this Dry deck set, because basically when I pulled Seismos, if you don't know, Seismos came out in the same set as Dragstrider, and I really wanted Dragstrider, and I got Seismos. I wasn't disappointed in Seismos, as evidenced by the story, and then me basically making Seismos my version of Blaster Blade for Aichi. But, the thing is, for Dragstrider, though, is I never got Dragstrider in real life. And the thing I always wanted to do was use Seismos with Dragstrider, since Dragstrider required 2 rearguard kill, and you're paying attention to my statement from earlier, I always use Seismos in combination with stuff like Dark Distress or Dark Carnival, because, not Dark Carnival, Dark Carnivore, because I knew the rearguards would die, and it turns out I would just kill them off during my main phase. So having Dragstrider and Seismos together would be really cool, but I never got that chance to do that. And 6 years later, I get the chance to do it in tabletop, and I do not regret a thing. And it worked out just as perfectly as imagined it would. Anyways, Baller Art, grade 4, triple drive, 15k base, stride step, discard a grade 3 Luard and carding from your hand. So standard of like the special evolution strides. However, because of how Luard's skill works, because you can stride for free, if you do end up using Luard's skill to stride for free in D or premium, you don't have to discard Luard and carding from your hand for that skill, so good for you. Anyways, stride from face down, standard heart card abilities. And then here's his skill, which remained almost exactly the same, and I love it, except they made it better. His OG skill was Auto Vanguard GB 2 Ritual 7. Basically take all of these effects, but get rid of the extra 10k, and then move this part right here up to the front, so you had to pay the cost beforehand. And that was pretty much the skill. However, now it is when it attacks into anything, if you have 5 or more units with the... Oh, I now realize I have to have 5 or more units with the ritual ability. Okay, it's a good thing that I've always had a full board anyways, so it's fine. But just take that to note. You do have to have a full board of ritual cards, or almost a full board of ritual cards, including itself. Until end of battle, this unit gets plus 10,000 power, plus 1 critical, so it's a guaranteed 28k double, 38k double critical swing. Probably with the crest, it'll be 48k double critical. And then by killing 2 rear guards and dropping a Luard in its card name, oh, look at that, you don't have to drop for this skill thanks to Luard, and oh, look at that, search fodder that also triggers ritual. By paying the cost, he'll get plus 1 drive, and then your opponent cannot card cards from grade 1 or greater from hand to guard circle to end of battle. It retained the plus drive skill, just put it at a different cost, which is very easy to obtain in this deck. It retained the nullifying grade 1s or graders word for word, again, just a different cost to it, and it literally made the rest of this ability free as long as you have a full board of ritual, which this deck does consistently. I want to be clear, I've been pulling that off on accident because I didn't realize that I had to have a full board of rituals, and yet I know every time I played this, except for maybe once or twice, I have actually been pulling that off consistently. So, yeah, it's just a thing. So all around, I'm very happy to see him. I'm very happy to have Seismos to go along with him. And now if I were to buy this dry deck set, I could tell you it would be for nothing more than these two, because I can finally do the play in real life that I've been waiting 6 years to do. But I got to do it in tabletop, so I'm at least a little bit subsided. Cool. Big beat stick, extra crits, extra drive, screws over Sentinels, or actually, yeah, Sentinels in D. I just love it so much, and I actually am now excited to pick up this dry deck set. So 4 of.
And let's finish up with our last 2 reveals for the day. First up, we have our standard promos. I'm just going to stop reading the second skill because we know all of them have the skill from V now. Anyways, we have Beautiful Blade Mage Kudo CD from Shadow Paladin. Whoever said they're waiting for Shadow Paladin's grade 2, here you go, grade 2 stuff 5k shield, 10k base, auto vanguard or rearguard once per turn when this unit attacks while boosted by counterblasting 1, start your deck to 1 grade 1 card, call it to rearguard circle and shuffle your deck. So pretty much Moressa, but without needing ritual. All around, fair. Shadow Paladin's gonna get a lot more play now with Dragstrider and Seismos and the other new Moressa being involved, and then obviously Kudo over here being involved, so a solid 3 over 4 in Shadows, especially grade 1 spamming decks. Then we have Stealthy Mutant Stillant, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 9k base from Med Colony, auto vanguard or rearguard once per turn. When this unit attacks while boosted by soul blasting 1, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards and they cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So paralyzes 2 opponent units at once. All around, fair. It's a simple soul blast to set up a full board like nullification thing. So all around, very solid, and I think it's good. I don't remember much from Med Colony and V, so it could be 50-50, but I'm gonna say it's at least a 3 of. And then we have our last 3 cards from the Shiranui Stride deck set. First up, we have Stealth Dragon Tenry. The second, we got Seismos. I knew we were going to get Tenry as the grade 1 for Shiranui if we had 3 more cards. I didn't know if we were getting 3 more cards or 2 more cards, with Fudou being guaranteed, and same with Mukuro. But I knew if we did get a 3rd one, it would 100% be Tenry. Anyways, or Tenry, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. You don't remember what Tenry did in the OG? He pretty much made the Vanguard the same, your Vanguard Shiranui, the same name as your opponent's Vanguard, which was important because pretty much Dominate used to steal the opponent's rearguard skills, meaning you could just use the skills even if your Vanguard had a different name, but Tenry sadly had to get a nerf here since this exists. But anyways, he's a grade 1 with boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I do love his fans. And then auto when placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Demon Stealth, Dragon Shiranui, Obodu Crest, counterballs want to draw a card, so cool. He turned from thing that allowed pretty much abuse rate of everything that you can dominate to he's at least an early game rush card and he can get you a possible draw out of it, so there's that. And then auto rearguard, when the attack of your dominated unit hits, you may bounce them back to your hand. Cool. Adds more pressure to your dominated units hitting. You know, you have the who is the card from last time that wanted dominate? Okay, something from last time that wanted dominate units to hit, and then now you want them not to hit because Tenry can bounce back to hand, meaning they can reloop this draw skill. So all around, very solid, and it's any dominated unit. I specify that for a reason, so, and it can hit anything, so 4 of Tenry, free draws and continuous bouncing. Then we have Fudou, who I feel like is a mistranslation, but like, okay, wait, before I say anything else, if this goes up on time, I'm just saying this right now, my internet is so laggy. It is horrible right now, so I have no idea if this is gonna go up on time, but it is 2:42, so I did actually wake up on time for once, but I can't tell if this is a mistranslation or not because I literally can't get Discord to load on my other devices barely, and it took 10 minutes for this to load on my computer. So anyways, just keep that in mind. Anyways, Stealth Dragon Fudou, grade 2 instead 5k shield, 10k base, continues rearguard during your turn. Each time one of your dominating units attacks, this unit will get plus 5,000 power. To my understanding, the most you can dominate at a time in D is 2, so that's a free 20, or a free 20k base, which is nice. He also has a moon in the background, so bias. And then auto rearguard once per turn. When your Vanguard attacks, if your dominated unit attack during this turn, by soul blasting 1, stand this unit. So that's where my issue lies, because I don't know, that feels like a mistranslation, even though I know it's the truth, because we just got Seiki. And Seiki does almost the exact same thing. In fact, they'll get the same amount of power, except the thing is, though, Seiki gets you a draw on top of it. So, I mean, granted, like, this one's better for first try, but then Seiki's immediately better afterwards. Well, I guess no, Fudou is technically better in both cases because it'll always be the 20k. I don't know, I feel like it's redundant that they release 2 re-standards in the same set. You know, they do almost the exact same thing. I feel like Fudou could have been an extra rearguard dominator, but you know, just like force it to swing into rearguard because then it adds pressure for everything else and it adds 5k to his skill. But it is what it is, and he's still a solid 4 in the deck, so there's that. And then we have our last card for the day, which is Evil Eye Hades Emperor Shiranui Mukuro. Grade 4, triple drive, 15k base, the standard stride thing. Discard a Demon Stealth Dragon Shiranui, so it could be in his card name, so it can be the OG, aka the one that's the stride fighter in this deck. It can be Oboru. Pretty much this is the only one in D that is straight up abusable, because any of the 2 stride fighters you are probably putting in the deck, you are probably going to be able to go into it with this, so there's that. And then his skill is Dominate, act Vanguard Circle once per turn, GB2, Soul Blast 1. So they immediately made him better, because I remember his full cost was Soul Blast 1, flip something and discard a card, or maybe it was Soul Blast 2 and discard a card. So they made it, obviously he wasn't going to flip, we all knew that, but they made his Soul Blast cheaper and they just made you not discard for it, which I miss because I really loved doing, like, I don't know why I found satisfaction out of Soul Blasting 2 and doing the discard even if I got nothing out of it. Anyways, choose your opponent's rear guards and dominate it and attack your opponent's vanguard with it at the end of the... And they officially buffed him, because I thought that I didn't read the full skill. I just saw the Yuo Drew drive checks for his skill when I was putting into Discord. So when I read this, I was like, okay, so they just nerfed him entirely by not giving him the Vanguard attack. And then I read the part that just says attack the Vanguard. So yeah, remember earlier when I said Fudou could get an extra dominate? Nope, we're good. We're good. This does the job. That means you can get 3 dominates in 1 turn stride skill, this part right here, and then this part right here, which gives you more hand cards. Cool, this is officially the most broken one, because it takes 3 of your opponent's units, force them to attack their other units. It is literally the easiest one to bring out by a long shot, because there are 2 grade 3s that can possibly go into it, and not to mention the fact it can get you drag checks, and it's literally all for the cost of a Soul Blast. Okay, well, I can't wait to test this one out. So I'm just want to hear. I hope you guys enjoy. These are amazing, and I now have reasons to pick up both Stride deck sets, if not at least Luard. So I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow Twitch, and don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.